Today, I want to highlight a trailblazer. She became frustrated with the major beauty brands out there that was sold in her country, Nigeria. And then she moved to Australia, and then she worked her way through some other names and couldn't find something that was quite right. And she's got this gorgeous skin, so it needs to be enhanced with some products. So she has come up with some, and it's called Oma Beauty. Let me welcome in the CEO, founder, creative director, Miss Sharon C. Welcome to the Karen Hunter Show.
Thanks, Karen. That was a good intro, man. I'm gonna steal that. That makes me sound like a real hustler, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you out there, you're doing the thing. Now, it's interesting because I think we're in this era where, and at least I feel this way, that this skin doesn't need enhancement. Just a little something. We don't need a whole lot of something. I feel like the drag queen era of Blackness is moving, and nothing wrong. Drag queens, I love them. I love RuPaul and all of that. But women who are not drag queens don't need to compete with that. We could just be ourselves. I just feel that way. What are your thoughts on this?
Exactly. I think, when you look at Oma Beauty as a brand, our first tenet is beauty starts the moment you decide to be yourself. So what's beautiful is actually you, not the makeup. And I tell everybody, if you're using makeup to make yourself beautiful, you don't need makeup, you need a shrink, right? That's what you need. And so when we're out there, we're talking about makeup, you're talking about expression, you're talking about play, right? You express yourself however you want to express yourself. Some people wake up in the morning and they leave their house in their jammies, right? And that's how they express themselves. And makeup is no different, right? Some people want to wake up and just pull a little something. Some people want nothing. Some people want a lot. And so I think for me is the democracy in terms of putting people into the driver's seat to determine what beauty means to them, whether that means full volume. And for a lot of people, you're not the same person every day. Some days I'm full volume, drag-esque, like makeup. Some days I got nothing on my face. I'm just, enjoying, this fine world that Jesus made. In my skin, the way he made me, just roaming around the street, not looking for any trouble. And I think that's what's beautiful about makeup, the fact that we get to choose and we get to be and express ourselves however we feel. When people see me with the red lipstick, they know it's on, I'm about to rip somebody's head off, right? So like people, and that's the different moods. And I feel like that's the power of makeup. And that's why I continue to fight so hard to democratize it, because when people feel that power and they know that power, they understand how it becomes just another, beautiful thing that you play with in this crazy experience called life. And when certain people determine who gets to do that and who doesn't get to, we're like, oh, no, we're not doing this. Not in this space. We work too hard for our money. We can't be begging to spend it, right? So we're gonna, democratize how people spend their money, use it to empower, enable, and inspire them to understand that despite what they see out there in a very singular standard of beauty, there is no standard of beauty. Beauty is you. You are beauty in whatever you define it to be.
I'm going to make one correction. I think you are looking for trouble sometimes.
I get that. I get that impression too, Karen.
It's a little bit of good trouble.
It's a lot of fun. Okay, so take us. I'm celebrating right now. I went and spent a buttload of money on Rihanna. Not a buttload because I don't wear a lot of makeup. I may get a lipstick. I may get some Pat McGrath when everybody was talking about Kylie self-made. No, Pat McGrath first self-made Black. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna give homage. Where do you fit into the Fenty, Pat McGrath? Like, where are you in that spectrum?
Yeah, we fit in our own lane. That's the beauty of Oma Beauty. We came out in 2019. And we were talking about inclusivity in a way nobody was talking about it, because if you look, and there's no criticism to this, right? When you talk about the space, Pat McGrath is amazing. She's a trailblazer. She is the most iconic makeup artist of our generation. Let that sink in. And I don't want anybody saying nothing other than that, because that woman literally is the icon. When it comes, people have, you have Kevin Aucoin, you have, all these other great makeup artists, but in our lifetime, it's Pat McGrath. And Pat was not just able to be a great makeup artist. She created a lot of products, like for P&G for 20 years. So woman is an icon. And so when she came out with Pat McGrath Labs, it was phenomenal, because what Pat McGrath introduced to beauty was high beauty. It was couture in beauty. We'd never had couture before in beauty. Like, you know, every luxury brand was selling you packaging. Pat McGrath came in beyond packaging, the formula, the texture, the way she spoke into beauty was a whole new woman spoke a category into existence. So she does luxury beauty and that's her lane and that's amazing. Nobody can do better than Pat because she understands color. And I've seen Pat work, like she's not bullshit. Pat wakes up every morning, works her butt off. She is uncompromising to the point where she has to tag difficult. And when you're a female founder, you get the tag difficult, you know you're doing something right, right? And that's Pat, right? So she's killing it, she's owning space. Fenty is a very different dynamic. You know, there's a lot of complexity in there, but I love the brand and I love what the brand came out to do and stood out to do in terms of inclusivity. And so when we were coming into the play, my mission was really to come and not only democratize beauty, but to use my platform to have conversations people weren't prepared to go. Now, when I looked at Fenty, I understood the straight away that Rihanna was going to have an Achilles heel because she partnered with LVMH to bring it to life. They will not be able to have tough conversations. They will not be able to, because for everything they say about Fenty, what about Marc Jacobs that they make? What about, you know, Ola Erickson? What about all of these other brands? Benefit Cosmetics, notoriously non-inclusive brands that are making 8 shades of foundation. You know, so I knew that LVMH, like Fenty, was a great platform opportunity, but she was going to be muted by that partnership because you just can't say anything, because anytime you say a word, somebody can attract it back to another of LVMH's beauty brands or their fashion conglomerates. So what this gave Alma Beauty the space to be is truly come in and not only talk about inclusivity from a space of shades, but to go beyond that. That's what we do. We're cultural curators. We were talking about black and white when it was a death sentence in beauty to say black and white, to actually say white people. You couldn't say that in beauty. It was like, you know, people said to me, beauty is an escape. People don't want to come here and talk about things that matter. And I was like, well, for people who don't want to do that, there's plenty of brands for them out there, like a ton of them, right? But when you're ready to have and talk about reality, and then not only talk about it, but hold yourself accountable to how do I become part of that solution, then you come into the Alma world. And in doing that, we created a space that nobody else plays in and nobody else is included in. We're in a league of our own because we come out with great prestige products that are knocking all their awards out, like just killing it, because innovation, I'm obsessed with that stuff. But first and foremost, we're a purpose-led brand and we're here to have conversations people are not prepared to have. And that's what attracts people to this beautiful tribe.
Woo! Sharon is here, y'all. Sharon is here. You can follow her at Oma Beauty, and that is UOM as in Mary A Beauty on the Instagram and on the Twitters. What's on your face right now? Because you literally are popping and blitzing, and it's just moist and beautiful. It looks like literal chocolate. What are you wearing?
We love a glow. So firstly, everybody knows me, I'm about skin. So I'm wearing my Alma Beauty Say What foundation, which is, by the way,
that's where I am. Okay, so how do I find my complexion?
Oh
because it changes.
You have to firstly find your skincare. So this is very unique. Nobody in the world had ever done this. Think that when we look at foundation formulas, we can't have one formula to suit everybody because we're all different. Then the needs of light skin is completely different to the needs of deeper skin. So what I did was create a 51 shade foundation range, but it comes in 6 families. Each of them, the formula customized. So the first thing you need to figure out is what's my skin family. For instance, I'm part of the beautiful brown sugar family. The name of my skin family is brown sugar. That means I've got brown skin. My skin tends to be oily. So we have a formula that's actually specially catered to that. It helps control oil. It's specifically formulated. It's got great undertones. Just in brown sugar, there's 12 shades alone. I mean, there's more shades in the brown sugar family than a lot of entire foundation ranges, right? So you come in there and now you only have 12. If you're in some families, you only have 6 shades to look through. You figure out your undertone and you're done. You got your product. So that's the key there. So for me, I'm all about that base. So I'm wearing Say What foundation, brown sugar, tone 2 neutral always. And then once you find your foundation, you can just pick your concealer because they matched. All the shade names are matched. So you go to your concealer in brown sugar, which I'm wearing as well. But the star of this look is my double take contour stick. Now it's a double-sided stick. It's like, as you see all this glow on my face.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's what's creating this glow because the cream stick. And I use my fingers and just dab it in and it adds warmth, dimension, and all of that.
Oh my gosh, I just got a lesson. So what color am I? I'm looking now.
You're going to be brown sugar or black pearl. That's what you're going to be. But I suspect you're going to be brown sugar.
Brown sugar.
Also, for people who have never seen her in person, Sharon Hunter has amazing skin.
Oh, I can see. You got
Thank you.
glow.
Amazing.
No
I
makeup
appreciate
at
it.
all.
It's the Kerasonic brush. I use it every day in the little anyway, but I'm not oily though. I'm dry. I'm like I could be Kevin Durant ashy if I didn't use moisturizing product.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm on the ashy side of things. So I'm one of these lighter tone people who also are ashy. I'm not oily.
Yes,
So
exactly. So
wouldn't
you're
be
one
brown
of
sugar.
the rarities, but I think what's amazing in terms of even when you use the brown sugar formula, what we've used to control oil is woolly thistle. So take it the equivalent of, imagine taking a Panadol when you don't have a headache. What's going to happen? Nothing. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen, right? But if you take Panadol when you have a headache, what's going to happen? It's going to treat your headache. So this is the same thing here. If you have oily skin, it's going to control your oils. But if you have dry skin, it does nothing. It's just going to hydrate your skin because the key active in it, in all of them, is hydration. So you get your hydration, you get your moisturization, you will get your hyperpigmentation is the main skin concern that it targets, targeted so that we can even up the whole skin tone, and then you get your glow. So that's the amazing thing about the way it's customized. It's customized that if you do have the skin problems, if your problem is genuinely oil, the little tissue will go in there and it doesn't strip it out, because if you strip out your oils, they're only going to come back 3 times stronger. So it just stays there and regulates your sebum production, which means if you ain't got sebum, you're producing it and regulating nothing. So you've made this job a little bit easier. It's like, fine, I get to get paid and I don't get to do the job. Look at it that way.
So where do people find the product? Is it
Sorry.
strictly online? Are you in some stores? Are you in stores in certain parts of the diaspora?
Yeah, so I mean, we've been very fortunate in terms of, for a 2-year-old non-celebrity brand, we've been able to crack it into the mainstream, which is very difficult in the American, market, right? This is the largest color cosmetics market in the world. So we've been very lucky. We're in Nordstrom stores. We launched 24 Nordstrom doors this year. We continue to expand in that rollout next year. We're with Ulta Beauty. We're in 203 Ulta stores and online as well. We're across Morphe globally. We have a diffusion line. So one of the crazy things I did no brands ever done before was go, I have this brand that's luxury, prestige. Like I said, Nordstrom in the UK, you can buy it everywhere. Selfridges, Harrods, Harvey Nichols is about to launch, Boots, John Lewis partners. So pretty much all the premium distribution points were in there. And then what I did this year was go crazy and take it one step further. And I created a diffusion, more affordable line, because you can't be inclusive and sell palettes of $44 because that's not inclusivity. That's rich people show, right? So I created a much cheaper range that also is amazing, much more carrying up your alleys for soft makeup, soft glam, easy to use, touch up with your fingers and run out the door. That's in Walmart, and it's the largest launch Walmart has ever done in the beauty history, in 3,365 Walmart stores. So
whoa,
yeah,
You better do that.
Sharon
Okay.
C, that C stands for ka-ching. We
to
see you.
Cash.
What you do? What can I say? There's power in purpose. There's power and purpose when you believe in what you believe in, and you don't listen because you know your mission and what you want to do. The universe opens doors for you you can never believe could be opened. And that's been my journey and story, because I've just been stubbornly in the goal of, I want every woman to feel beautiful in her skin. I want every man and woman to be empowered, that they can be whoever they want to be, not who the world tells them to be. Whether you're like me, who's a CEO with blonde and pink hair with tattoos and, everything that in a human being is completely written off to be smart or successful. And you every day turning up with your 5'3" size 0 self and killing it, right? And that's what I want the world to become, where everybody can embrace themselves for who they are and shine, because the only thing that can kill us is nothing that kills your soul than being in chains, right? We know that better than anybody else. And so even though beauty is what I do, really what people come to me for is not just the lipstick and the foundations and all of this. It's a souvenir of their experience. They come in there to get that validation and to get that reinforcement of how wonderful and how beautifully made they are. And in that becomes the power, because there is nothing more powerful. You can never find a more powerful woman than a woman who feels beautiful and has got money in her pocket. If she can do those two things, she's unstoppable. And that's why society is designed to strip one of those two things away from us in terms of a feeling.
Listen, when you say that about the empowerment, I think about the last time I was on the continent and I saw all of the ads for skin lightening, and a lot of the ads have American sort of F-list, celebrities or whatever. talking about it. And
don't go if I go Black China again, Andrew. Is that what you're saying?
So yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, it is a phenomenon throughout the diaspora, and it's so dangerous. And
yes.
It's so dangerous, some of the chemicals that are being used. Can you,
crazy.
From you as a global citizen, but also as a beauty executive, can you talk just a little bit about, how do we combat that?
Yes. Look, the only way to combat that is by making people believe that they're wonderful the way they are. I come from Nigeria. Talking about skin bleaching, 7 out of 10 women in Nigeria bleach their skin. 7 out of 10 women in Nigeria bleach their skin. You talk about a population that's over 90% Black, yet in there, we still have the hierarchy of the lighter, the better. Why? Because of the hangover of colonials, right? We were colonized. Everybody talks about, everybody's familiar with slavery and how that architecture works. The one thing that the world still hasn't unlocked properly yet is the impact of colonization, or the fact that I am the first post-colonial generation in my country. I'm from Nigeria. I'm the first. My mother was born during colonial rule. So you think about that, all the ideas that are forced to you. It says fairer is lighter, straight hair is better. So my hair, I was 3 years old when it started getting straightened, right? Being light-skinned is seen as this ultimate treasure that you can actually get and if you can't get it naturally, you bleach in there. There are no products available there for darker skin, but why bother trying to fight product for darker skin when people could just bleach to the skin color of the products available, right? And that's really effed up. And that's really where my fire started with, in terms of getting through life and at a point starting to process the innate hate that we born with, that is subconscious, that we don't talk about ourselves. Because when you think about all of these actions, what you get that from when we're born, we understand that we're different, but not different good, different bad, regardless of where we're born, whether we're born with our own people or you're born in America, you're in the diaspora, wherever you're born, the one thing is a standard that you're not good enough. And we live our entire lives trying to keep up with that standard. And a lot of times this is what comes back to bite us, because you see women trying to bleach themselves, but even beyond that, you ask all the dark skin, all the Black men there, oh, we don't do darkies, we want light skin girls. So that also packs even more pressure, because on one hand, it's been sold to women that this is the idea of beauty, the Marilyn Monroe, the Audrey Hepburn. And not only women are absorbing that information, even men are absorbing that information as well. So it puts our society and the Black community in a place that is very unique to us. And it's a really bizarre place. And the only way out of this is showing the Black woman that you are beautiful as you are, that your skin is just beautiful, that there is nothing about you that needs to be fixed. Your hair is perfect. Is why I went natural 2 years ago. It was the first time in my life I could touch my hair and it was actually natural. Never done that before. I'm in my mid-30s. So you think about these things that to other people are normal, to us these are like novelty, like not straightening your hair, right? But I think the work that we're doing, we need to continue to have this conversation, because once we're able to show people what happened to me 4 years ago that took me on this journey, the second they hit that, I know that feeling is unstoppable. When you realize who you are, what you have in you, the lineage, the bloodline that flows through you and what you're capable of, you find it laughable even when people come and bring you bleaching cream. You're like, why the hell will I want to do that? Like, and that's what I want every Black woman to feel. But it's going to take us time. It did not take one day to put that idea in our head. It took 400 years. It will not take 400 years to undo, but all of these steps we're taking, representation is the first part of that step. And as we continue to push for more representation, we will start normalizing the Black skin beauty. And that's my goal.
I love that. And we got to work on the brothers too, it sounds like too. It's not just about Black women seeing themselves as beautiful. There's a conversation that men need to have amongst ourselves.
A lot. It's a conversation that everybody shies away from, but it's an important one, because it really impacts, like, women, right? And how we feel. We do value, as much as a lot of times we want to be, oh, no, I don't care. We do care, right? There's nothing that, it's a good feeling when you look at a man you care about and he looks at you and he tells you you're beautiful and you genuinely know that he's correct. Not because you're beautiful for my income today, right? Can we talk about it? You're beautiful enough for my current income, but honey, the second I level up, I am trading you down to side chick, and I'm going to find the person who's appropriate for a red carpet, who usually is much lighter.
Oh, I bet you are good at a cocktail party.
I am wild. No, they don't want to invite me. I told too many truths, I'm telling you.
Drew, when's our next party? All right. 866-801-8255. The name, where did it how did you derive it? Oma.
Oma is means beautiful in my local language. It's Igbo.
Which is what?
Yes.
Igbo, right?
It's Igbo, yes. So Oma means beautiful. It's spelled O-M-A. I added the U into it because Umuoma, beautiful people. That's who we are. And for me, it was really important to take my language to the world, because when I came overseas, I had to change my accent. I had to change my name because I needed to get the job. And now I have to normalize it in terms of the whole world struggling to say, Oma. It's like when you all finish struggling, you're going to say it, and then you're going to understand that it means beautiful. And it is beautiful. And, I love it when I go out there and I see a lot of Igbo kids, and they're so excited. They don't hear this thing in the mainstream, right? There was one of my lipstick called Fumilayo, after Fumilayo Ransom Kuti, who was the mother of Fela Kuti, who everybody knows, the great Afro pop legend, or the creator of Afrobeats as we know it. And Fumilayo was for me, she's a bigger icon than Fela Kuti, right? So one of my lipsticks called Badass Icons, which is named after great icons that have inspired me, from Maya Angelou all the way to Fumilayo. And the amount of times I have people write to me to go, you have no idea what it means to me to see a lipstick and my name is written on it. This is a name that I usually have to carry with shame. We usually have to change it and swap my middle name to the first name so that my African name can be hidden. And now I'm going out there and I'm in Nordstrom and I'm seeing in Nordstrom, Fumilayo, like the sales assistant has to struggle through saying the name to say Fumile, and I have to go Fumilayo. And they go, that makes me feel human. It makes me feel beautiful. And so I think for me, whether it's naming, whether it's campaigns, like the campaign we did for Coming to America that was tagged the Black Skin Beauty and was all over Nordstrom's window in Central Park, right? These are the moments that matter, where these little girls can walk through and see women in Gili, right? That are like proudly African, proudly themselves, just displaying their royalty, their regality, and their beauty. And that's why I chose to name the company Oma Beauty. And even through all the product names, you find a lot of gems from Africa and around the world in there.